And welcome back, everyone. We are at the final stretch, and I'm going to go ahead and let Mr. Richard Davis take over. So, if you could just go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them why it's so important that we're letting you close this out.
All right, thank you. My name is Brother Richard Davis Jr. I am a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And what I thought would be important would be to show how Sigma and Zetas are pushing the communities, our people specifically, to get to the polls to vote. Shan Ferdinand was gracious enough to host us, and this is where we're at here. So with that, we'll start with Brother Chief of Staff, Brother Miller Pitts. What would be one thing that you would say would be the important state mark for this evening?
Absolutely. So I want to thank the gracious hosts, Black Lion Realty, this podcast, the beautiful, eloquent Soror Dr. May. I wish you were here, Soror Glover, to have my back a little bit. I'm not going to give you one thing because when I came through, for some reason, I was a deuce. And so I have to always do two things. But what I will say is that it is vital in this 2022 midterm elections that we get out to vote. Everything is on the ballot box. And one of the things I didn't talk about really was reparations. And so that's a whole nother segment, reparations for people that were brought over here that are often look like our ancestors. And we need to do that commission and really have the country atone for the wrongs that they need to right. But outside of that, I think that everything is on the ballot box in 2022, gearing up for 2024, that presidential election. And so if you don't take it serious now, after November 8th, it's going to be too late. And so I encourage everybody to get out there and really understand who you should vote for and why you should vote for them, and what things align with what matters to you most, your family, you as an individual, what you're trying to accomplish, and then use that as fuel to go out there and not only vote yourself, early vote, but bring people out to the voting booth, because everything's on the ballot box. And so I really want to send a shout out to all the chapters that fall under the Commonwealth of Virginia. We have 22 of them between collegiate and alumni, and they all doing their own individual social action programs to get out the vote on college campuses, souls to the polls, and various things. And so I really just want to encourage everybody that allow November 8th to be the most consequential election for you, because there's so many things on the ballot box that we could talk about. Women's rights, human rights, reparations. We can talk about climate, because if the whole world blows up, and then we ain't doing nothing, right? We ain't doing this podcast. And so I know you said one thing and I gave you about 4 or 5, but in true Deuce fashion, I had to let you know and leave my spin on it. And
sounded very good. Miller Pitts, would you like to ask me a question?
Now, before we go over to the great, to our soror, the great Madam, I would like to, I would be remiss if I don't give a shout out to our state director for Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, our brother Rodney Wright. He would also love to have been here tonight, but he's doing his state director things. Now we will move over to the great Madam State Director, Dr. Danielle May. Madam State Director, what would be the one point that you would like to hit on to end us out tonight?
So I only have one. I'm just joking. So I would say that, the biggest thing I heard what Brother Millipit said, and I agree, we need to educate ourselves and we need to get out and vote. If nothing else, you need to understand what's on those ballots and you need to get out there and you need to vote. But in a caveat, I would also like to throw out my second one, even though I was not a deuce, was that we as women and we as African Americans, we also need to encourage each other to take on political positions as well. So not only are we getting out there and voting, we're seeing what's out there, but if we could get involved on a political level, as far as a politician or someone running, I don't even care if it's a school board. Like, let's get out there and do what we need to do. Everybody has to start somewhere, but just remembering that, you know, what you do now matters for tomorrow. And that's all I have.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that because let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something, because I know I said this earlier, you know, local elections matter, but listen, y'all go look, we be mad at the school boards, we be raising all types of HE double hockey stick, and want to get on the mic and curse people out, this, that, and the third, but don't want to run for the position that where it's only about 1,500 people, 1,500 votes. You know what I'm saying? We done stood in formations of 1,500 people, right? That's a brigade size and less, if you will, right? You get the right couple companies, that's a battalion right there, right? Like for the military listeners, right? That's all you got to get to vote for you. And then you can do the things that's impactful. So I just wanted to piggyback on that.
And
go
I
out there and do
that,
something.
But I'm going to go ahead and finish and give a shout out to my 42 chapters of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated within the Commonwealth of Virginia, and the 6 chapters within West Virginia that are out there listening to this. So and again, I total. Appreciate you all. Yes, you can count. I appreciate you all for going out there and continuing to keep our legacy alive and continuing to keep our faces on the forefront of what's going on within your community. So I just want to send a special thank you. And Kendra, next time, I'm going to call you.
You should be here. Oh, no. Yeah, it's not a...
Thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it. I have had an amazing time. Thank you both for your hospitality. This has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you guys, Dr. May, Mr. Miller Pitts. Thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate it.
And that is a wrap. I had to snatch the mic back from Mr. Richard Davis because he didn't want to do his Russell Simmons thing. So I had to go ahead and snatch the mic back from Richard Davis. But listen, thank both of you for coming out. Mr. Richard Davis, thank you. I have to make sure I say it in the right order, right? The Sigmas and the Zetas. I said it right? Mm-hmm. Listen, it was amazing watching the chemistry between the two of you, and the fact that Mr. Richard Davis could call you almost last minute and have you come in and do this was amazing. That shows the unity and that shows the strength of your organization. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and give you a good salute. And with that, we are out. Yeah, of course, Black Lion Realty is the best. Hampton Road's finest. What else did you think I was going to say?
Listen, we're just here to dominate. No more, no less.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, when it comes to this real estate, anybody can win. You got to know when to take your chance.
Absolutely.
It's Black Lion After Hours. Let's go.